This is Andy Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm joined by Siesta over Zoom, man who's a jack of all trades these days. Al, how are you?
I'm very well, bro. Thank you very much. How are you?
I'm good. It's good to catch up. You've got a new camera set up, which is very impressive. Certainly good to speak to somebody who's gone to these lengths. I'll talk to you about life. Obviously, you announced some new fighters yesterday, some big news for yourself. Talk me through the announcements.
Just delighted to announce this beautiful young trio of super middleweights, stroke middleweights. Just been on the cards for a long time. I spoke to John Docherty last year, and I always fancied him to be in our stable, regardless if he will be working with Matchroom Boxing or not. I thought I can do a lot for him because we built John Docherty, me and Paul Reddy. We kind of witnessed Paul Reddy, by the way, the ex-matchmaker from Matchroom, now his own man, the manager, one of the partners in the second to none agency, for those who doesn't know. We saw that John has been matched on a very strange manner in terms of very careful, and the guy had a really good pedigree, very strong, and he's got complacent eventually. That's what happens to you. When you get matched very safely, you get complacent, and instead of moving forward, you're moving backwards. I am actually seeing similar thing happening to Joshua Buatsi, I think, because these guys with such a great pedigree, they've been in the gym for for hundreds and thousands of hours. They sparred every single professional under the sun, and I think they are credible enough to fight someone decent. And obviously, John has been banning everyone out, knocking people out, and got complacent and slightly underestimated Jack Cullen. And it basically education 1, 2, 3, jumping straight to 9, bypassing all these 5, 6, and 7s, and that's where you got caught out, you know. So we will fix that mistake. He learned from his mistakes. He's ready to move with his career, to move on with his career, and I'm his man. We're gonna do it, you know.
Like I said to you yesterday, Al, I spoke to John Docherty about a week ago, obviously before your announcement, but he pointed out very similar things to what you're saying. And I said to him, it's similar to what Anthony Fowler said when he lost to Scott Fitzgerald. You know, up until that fight, he was knocking everybody out. He's in cruise control throughout his career. Then he underestimated Scott. Do you see similarities between Anthony Fowler before he's lost to Fitzgerald and John Docherty before he's lost to Jack Cullen?
Absolutely. And I feel the problem is with British boxing is once you sign the fighter, you are trying to capitalize him with the road as long as possible. No one wants to take risk. Everyone wants to have a safe opponent. So network will show the fighter, the publicity is growing, social media following, the awareness about this fighter, the public awareness is growing. Everything is fantastic. This is a great concept, apart from, but there's a one big but, and that but is fighters development. So the only person who's missing out on it is the fighter himself. Yes, so it has to be in absolute harmony, the building up the fights or the social media and everything. I do believe Ruslan Pravodnikov became very well known after his loss to Timothy Bradley, because that fight was incredible. And although Pravodnikov was a loser on the cards, he became a winner amongst people. And I thought that obviously it's a bit of a demagogy to compare John Docherty or Anthony Fowler to Pravodnikov. But that's why I like people going to say, again, I'm a prejudice. Listen, guys, in Eastern Europe, Russia or Ukraine, they build the fights a certain way. If you are a European champion or Commonwealth champion or a very good amateur, there's no reason why you have to have 20 fights in order to fight for the title. Absolutely no reason. You've got thousands of hours. You've got 200 plus amateur fights. You're an experienced guy. Yes, it takes time, the conversion into professionals, but that's 7, 8 fights. You're ready to go. Look at Lomachenko. He took his chance in the second fight. Usyk, by his 10th fight, was a world champion, or 11th. So that's what it is. And yes, it caught up on Anthony Fowler. So I do believe if you get that special fresh blood from British amateur system, I think the building up process is slightly different to what it conventionally would be if you just building the fights from scratch. Yes.
Before we stray away from, well, we will stray slightly, but we'll come back to John after this question. You mentioned kind of the British amateur system and the fighters coming through now. A lot of talks about as to who's going to go to who once the Olympics is out of the way this summer, provided they go ahead, of course. Are you putting your name into the hat to try and pick up some of the athletes on the current Team GB setup?
Not really, because I do believe Fighter and his team, they need to do their homework and understand who they want to go with, who they want to move with. And I don't want to put my name forward. First of all, my profile is massively inferior to the likes of Eddie Hearn in Matchroom and Frank Warren at Queensbury. Although amongst professionals in our industry, most of the people who are 24/7 on it are aware of what I can deliver. So I would let the teams to discover if they want to be with Al Siesta. I wouldn't put myself forward because just let them to discover. I believe firmly that the deal's done in heaven. So the perfect matches. So hopefully, if it's meant to be, I will get discovered by those teams. And I'm really glad that John Docherty and his team put trust in me. By the way, John is trained now by Grant Smith up in Sheffield. It's a great setup. For those who is not aware, I'm sure there's not very many people. Grant Smith is the father of great Dalton Smith, and also training Charlie and Sonny Edwards. So it's a great trainer, great experience, perfect tactician, great technician, very intelligent man. And it's great that John is in his hands, because I do really love what Tony Sims is doing. I think Tony Sims is a great trainer, but Tony is older generation. Tony's seen it all. And I think genuinely, maybe Tony have so many prolific fighters that maybe John, he just literally can't spread his attention wide enough to capture John. Do you understand what I'm saying? I think he's got Conor Benn, Felix Cash, and who else he's got? Joe Cordina, great guys. And that three guys alone take all his space and all his time. And I mean, if he would have been Jesus Christ himself and God, he wouldn't have enough time to do that. You know what I mean? So I don't blame. I really loved Tony when he worked with Anthony Joshua. I think AJ was great under Tony's supervision. So big up to Simses and Tony Sims, one of my favorite trainers. But at this stage, I think Grant Smith is the perfect man. And I think him and John will gel perfectly, because John is a wrecking machine and Grant is that gentle tactician. And in that synergy, I think can bring very special harvesting for us, you know.
Oh, talk to me about John's plans then. When you had your first meeting with John about kind of how you see at least the rest of 2021 playing out for him, what vision did you set out for him?
I think John will should fight at least 3 times this year. The next fight will be a learning fight, not the learning fight that everyone imagines. Proper tough fight, but at the same as a learning curve. Someone who comes to fight, someone fairly deep waters, that John can implement the new knowledge he will gain under duress. Do you understand what I'm trying? So that's what we require. And also, I would like to talk about Zach Shelley and Shaquille Thompson as well, because Shaq Thompson is disappeared from the scene. He had a baby. He is comfortable with his partner, and he kind of on his new stage in his life as a father. And I would like to bring him back to British boxing. Obviously, he split from Frank Warren, but he hasn't been active for a very long time. And I would like to bring him. And I think Shaq should fight at least 3 times this year. And he's still with Roger Sampson, with his trainer. Also, you know, they've got Levi Smith. They've got Dante Dixon in that stable. Really, really good trainer, really good setup. And I am welcoming Shaquille Thompson, who is managed by Adam Etches, good friend of mine. We're working together, and we're looking forward to build something out of Shaq in terms of his great, talented, incredible specimen, 6'3", very strong athlete, you know. And he's just like a model. He's a picturesque. Just look at, you know, very strong. And he's a great technician. Another southpaw, so is John Docherty, very awkward, rangy. Listen, nothing more of a nightmare than a rangy southpaw, they say. But these guys are positive. They are assassins. They're not backfoot fighters. They are forward going. That's exactly what Siesta Boxing loves. And finally, Zach Shelley, I love him dearly. I love his father, great family, strong Muslim belief, in and out, believe in his ability, absolutely, uncompromisingly, 100%. And this is the kind of fights I love. And I am welcoming all of them into the stable. Regardless, I am open to other promoters to collaborate. I'm talking Matchroom, Queensbury, Ben Shalom at Boxer, but they are under care, full, complete care of Siesta Boxing.
Oh, we've seen you build up kind of a good little stable there, middle and super middle. Would you be happy to, well, not necessarily right now, but down the line, see your fighters face each other?
Absolutely, but not now. I need to build the guys. I need to show the world what I can do with all these fighters. And this is not Chipperfield Circus where we'll collide clown on clown. No, I will build the guys together. They will move forward. And if it requires, if there's a fight between Shelley and Docherty, which makes sense, and the guys at the stage of the career with something is on the line and the stakes are high, I can't see the reason why we will not be doing that fight. Last thing I want to do is forcing, and I don't want to force the guys to take that fight too early. I think they're young people. They're only 23. They've got beautiful, wonderful road in front of them, bright future. So let's cross that bridge about fighting them one against another when they cross that bridge. We're going to do that.
Talk to me
My
about your
English is
plans.
suffering. It's too early for me still. I've been making deals with Russians, and my language of the morning was Russian.
Al, talk to me about your plans with Zach. I know in the past we've spoken about that possible Jack Cullen rematch. You've said
Yeah.
you said before it's good to kind of let it build up. You don't need to rush it. Now you've got two fighters who will want to rematch Jack Cullen under your wing in John Docherty as well. But just with
Yeah.
Jack's case, do you see the fight between Zach and Jack happening later this year, or do you think it still needs more time?
It could happen now. Zach Shelley, the kind of guy, he will take a rematch against Jack Cullen now. It's all matter of team Cullen, Steve Wood and Jack's trainers. If they want to do it, let's do it. No problem. And I'm sure Eddie Hearn and Matchroom Boxing will be interested to stage that fight, because it was a draw. It was very interesting, very competitive. Although the common consensus is that Zach Shelley has won the fight. So, yeah, we're ready to do it. But ultimately, I'd like to give Zach Shelley an opportunity to fight for the regional title, So one of those four big governing bodies. And I think it's on the cards, and I am more than capable to deliver that.
Al, talks about Cold Wars. Will we be seeing it return?
Definitely. We will be seeing return of Cold Wars, hopefully end of March, maybe mid of March. I'm negotiating with my broadcasters. I'm talking to various parties, and I have 3 fantastic cards combined, designed, and ready to go, which the announcement is due very soon as I've got confirmation about specific dates.
You've had 2 very good shows, like Cold War series ran so far. What's going to be different about the third one? How do you look to continue to improve on it all, Al?
More expensive fights, bigger competition, bigger names, more violence.
I'll also got you as well. We're finally going to see boxing return to UK shores on this coming weekend. Will you be tuning in? Are you looking forward to it?
100%. I will be watching every single fight. I wish Josh Warrington the best of luck. There's another big fight on the cards. Remind me, who's the main event?
It's Warrington versus Maurizio Lara.
I think, but there's also Lee Wood against.
Kold.
Yeah, fantastic fight.
Moving forwards once again, you've got Josh Kelly, David Avanisi in the week after. It's a fight many have looked forward to for so long. Your thoughts?
Brilliant fight, fantastic fight. Can't pick a favorite because it's been too long, too many postponements. I've got no idea. Pure spectator. Let the best man win. That's what I can say.
And then finally, we're waiting for kind of an update on it all. I know you speak to Alex Karasiak very, very often.
Hold on. Let me teach you. Let me teach you. Stop. Alex Krasuk.
Alex Karasiuk.
Brilliant. Krasuk. Yes,
Krasuk.
done.
I know you speak to him very often. What is the latest with Alexander Usyk and Joe-Joyce?
Cards kept close to their chest. Things are moving on the background. People talking, people negotiating. Could be wild card thrown. Anything could happen. Let's be patient. Let's see what's going on. I can't wait for that fight to be announced. And no matter where it will take place, that is the fantastic fight. I still fancy Alexander Usyk or Alexander Usyk, how we pronounce it. It's just been fluctuating between Russia and Britain too much. Yeah, adopting all the bad habits. But that's what it is. Looking forward to it. I do know what's going on, but this is not my secret to share, as they say.
Right, Al, we will leave it there now. I'll leave you to enjoy the rest of the day. I'm going to leave a final word to yourself, though, ahead of the remainder of this year. What do you like to say to everybody, especially on the back of your announcements earlier this week?
Guys, remember about your freedom. Remember the good old times. It was really wonderful. Do you appreciate now when we were moaning about the past? Look forward to the future. The future. What did Talk son? The life, what you make it, correct? What you make it. Do you remember that record? Covered by Gwen Stefani. I think that's exactly what it is. I'm trying to stay positive, guys. Honestly, I love you and see you very soon.
Al, thank you for speaking to Boxing Social.
Take care, brother. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.